Okay, picture this. The next CEO of a Fortune 500 company isn't a person, it's an algorithm. Now, that might sound like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but believe it or not, the boardroom of the future is getting a major tech upgrade, and it's happening a lot faster than you think. So let's get into how this is already changing the game in corporate leadership. Back in 2017, Alibaba's Jack Ma said this, and a lot of people probably thought, yeah, right, maybe someday. But what seemed like a wild, futuristic prediction is quickly becoming a reality. Seriously, the question is no longer if an AI is going to run a company, but how it's going to do it. And look, this isn't some far-off theory. AI is already making the jump from just crunching numbers to actually taking a seat at the head of the table in the real world right now. I want you to meet Mika. She's the humanoid robot CEO for the Polish beverage company Dictador. And over here, this is Teng Yu, a virtual CEO for the Chinese gaming giant NetDragon Websoft. And let's be clear, these are not just PR stunts or experiments. They are actual AI entities in executive roles, making real decisions and shaping company strategy as we speak. So how in the world does an AI actually lead? Well, right now we're seeing two main approaches pop up. You can kind of think of it as a battle between pure data crunchers and super social communicators. Let's just call them dashboards and droids. So this really breaks down into two totally different philosophies. On one hand, you've got these digital command centers, basically massive data dashboards that are all about analytics, analytics, analytics. And on the other hand, you have personalized systems. These are the robots and virtual agents built from the ground up for human interaction. One is all about the numbers, the other is all about the people. To really get a feel for the dashboard approach, check this out. This is the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company's Panorama Digital Command Center. It is a 50-meter-long interactive wall that shows real-time data from their entire global operation. It's literally a CEO's brain, blown up on a giant screen for everyone to see. Okay, so what's the payoff for an approach that's all about the data? Well, it's huge. By using its AI to optimize everything, ADNOC saves up to $100 million every single year. This just goes to show you, we're not talking about some fancy charts here, we're talking about massive, tangible results. All right, let's completely switch gears and look at the other side of things. Instead of a giant screen, this approach gives AI a face, maybe even a body. The whole idea is that by making AI more human-like or anthropomorphic, it's just easier for us to connect with it. Because, we're social creatures, right? And giving AI a human-like form has some pretty clear perks. A robot can use body language, it can share a physical workspace with you, and it can even do things like shake hands. Plus, they can take on leadership roles in places that are just too dangerous for people, like a disaster zone. It's really all about tapping into our own built-in social programming to make the interaction feel natural. Okay, but this is where it gets really tricky. Whether it's a dashboard or a droid, when an AI makes a big decision, it often happens inside what experts call a black box. We see the answer it spits out, but we don't really get the why. And that leads to the biggest question of all. Can we actually trust our new robot overlords? I mean, really think about it for a second. If a human CEO makes a terrible multi-million-dollar mistake, we can grill them, we can ask for their reasoning, and we can hold them accountable. But if an AI does the exact same thing, how do we get an explanation? How do you audit a decision you can't even begin to understand? And that's where this whole field of explainable AI, or XAI, comes into play. It's basically a mission to crack open that black box. Because without that, getting people to accept an AI leader, let alone figuring out the legal and ethical mess, well, it's pretty much impossible. Now, here's an interesting twist. While a big data dashboard could theoretically show you its math, those human-like AIs present a completely different kind of problem. The very thing that makes them so great, their ability to be social, is also their biggest vulnerability, and that is the risk of deception. Here's what I mean. It's actually really easy for us to get fooled. We might start to think that the robot genuinely feels empathy when it's just running a program. We might overestimate how well it gets a really tricky social situation. Or we might just completely forget that its smile or its nod isn't a real reaction, it's just a command that was written into its code. So yeah, this all sounds pretty messy, but the good news is researchers are already working on frameworks to solve this exact problem. The goal isn't just to build a smart AI, but to build an accountable one. And the solution actually starts with borrowing a really simple but powerful idea from how we run our own companies. It's a principle called comply or explain. In the human corporate world, it basically means you have two choices. Either you follow the established rules, or you have to stop and formally explain, in detail, why you're breaking them. It's a really straightforward framework for keeping things transparent. So imagine applying this to an AI. It would mean that the AI operates within a strict set of ethical and procedural rules, maybe 95% of the time. But for that other 5%, when it needs to make a new decision that's outside its normal programming, it's required to stop, flag it, and provide a clear, detailed explanation for why it's doing what it's doing. So you're probably wondering, how do you even program something like that? Well, that's where this fascinating field called computational law comes in. The whole goal is to literally translate our messy human legal and ethical rules into a language of algorithms that a machine can actually understand, follow, and, this is the most important part, be audited against. So all of this brings us to what a lot of people think is the real future of AI leadership. We don't have to choose between the cold, hard data of a dashboard and the potentially misleading face of a droid. What if we could have the best of both worlds? That's right. The future of AI leadership probably isn't an either-or situation. The ultimate AI leader is going to be a hybrid, something that combines the raw number-crunching power of a data engine with the communication skills of a social interface. So here's how that would work. You'd have a data brain that's the massive engine, like the one at ADNOC, analyzing trillions of data points to find the absolute best strategy. And then you'd have a social face, a friendly robot or a virtual agent that takes that super complex strategy and actually explains it to us humans in a way we can understand and work with. And this, right here, is the real breakthrough. This hybrid model gets right to the heart of the trust problem. It has the incredible power to make the smartest possible data-driven decisions, and it has the critical ability to explain those decisions to its human team in a way that's clear, trustworthy, and socially intelligent. So, as we're standing right on the edge of this completely new era of leadership, it leaves us with this one last, really fascinating question. Are we just building these AI leaders to think like us, to mimic human strategy? Or, by seeing patterns that we could never see on our own, will they end up teaching us a totally new and maybe better way to lead? The answer to that is probably going to redefine the future of work as we know it.